This message is brought to you by Venmo. It's not easy being a football fan, especially in the postseason. Watching your favorite team botch a 4th and long, failing to get out of bounds on a 2-minute drive, or fumbling the transfer on a simple handoff, that's hard. But transferring money with Venmo on DraftKings, that's easy. Football is hard, paying with Venmo is easy at your favorite brands all playoff long. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 plus in most states. Restrictions apply. Terms, DraftKings.com.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Against the spread. Against the spread.
Against the Spread is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Roy, what do we got?
Olympic women's hockey tonight is the United States versus Canada. The Canadians are without their captain, Marie-Philippe Poulin. She is out with a lower body injury. That's a big blow to Canada. So I say go with the Americans, who are a 1.5 favorite tonight against the spread.
Mike?
Against the spread.
The lines move some, but I'm going to take the Miami Hurricanes plus 1.5. 7 o'clock tip, ESPN tonight. Biggest game of the season, biggest home game of the season for the Miami Hurricanes. Letdown spot for North Carolina. Miami's got a tough defense, especially at the point of attack. Going Canes. Against the spread.
Give me that spread.
Roy, how did you took the U.S. women's hockey team minus 5.5 goals? What happened with that bet?
The previous bet, I believe they did not cover. They scored 5, and the line was 5.5.
That Swiss goalie is awesome. Awesome.
They should have covered that game. They were pounding her with shots.
I think that she's had in her last 2 games, she's faced close to 100 shots.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was on me.
Chris, I'm going to have to...
Minor penalty
let it go,
for leaking confidence.
No, I saw it. I saw you looked at me out of the corner of your eye, pounding her. You get out of here. Just get out of here. You were leaking confidence.
I tried.
I'm losing people right and left. Jeremy is preparing a song. Tony has been banished. I have reason to be mad at Tony, okay? Because Tony was going to do the whole show today in Spanish and just forgot. And it would have been funny, him trying to talk to Zaz all show in Spanish and Zaz not understanding anything. He said, "Let's go out to Tony now." He's laughing. He's out there. He's at Dwayne Wade's statue. He's chosen a symbolically ugly spot for his ugly performance today. I don't know what the sound is there.
It seems like he's buzzing, so let's get
all
back
right,
to him.
let's get that down. We'll come back to him. It's continuing with his ugly performance. We will get back to him as soon as we can. I wanted to
hold on. The pressure washing the building. So that's the pressure washer.
Okay,
Tony is
so
good.
it's not buzzing. All right, so
I thought that was a connection issue.
All right, so then we'll go to him with pressure.
lean in.
All right, lean into pressure washing in the background. I am now pressure watching you, feeling like you're going to fail here. Let's do a top 5 here. But you're laughing at the fact that you forgot to speak Spanish during today's show, correct? At a time of great, proud cultural heritage.
I'm laughing at the start of the segment where Chris knew that he had said something that was going to reflect poorly on everything. Excellent. And that made me laugh. And then the Spanish thing made me laugh, but then right whereas they're about to come to me, the pressure washing starts. It's kind of been, it's adversity, Dan, but that's what we do. We push through adversity.
You got to play in the elements. Yeah, Klosterman likes it that way better. Go ahead and give us your last top 5 of the season. All of this needs a good, vigorous power washing. I can't believe you started right when you were talking. Roy thought the audio was bad because of the nearby power washer. Any OLI, or are you starting with number 5?
No, we're starting off OLI, no OLIs, just 5. But this is the last one of the NFL season, so I'm going to have to find a new side hustle, Dan. Obviously, the NFL is my thing. We're going to have to maybe move forward, going forward after the All-Star break for the NBA, into Tony's Top 5 NBA edition. So that's a little something to look forward to now that the NFL is done. There's also a jet plane flying by too. So we are against the elements right now. So And if somebody wants to, Dan, if somebody comes over and wants to take a picture with the statue, I have to let them, right? Just in case.
Yeah, or you can include them in your top 5. If anyone stops by to get a picture of Michael Chiklis in statue form, that'd be good.
All right, we'll start off in the with number 5. I nailed the defensive TD call. I was looking back at the things that I said were going to happen 2 weeks ago, and I only nailed one thing, which was a defensive touchdown. I missed the JSN one. I missed the Bad Bunny one. I missed both QBs to throw a pick.
No, you got Vrabel. You got Vrabel
TD.
will be a coward on 4th and short. You got that.
Speaking of that, number 4, Mike Vrabel did what Mike Vrabel does on 4th and short. Cowardice. For a guy who said he was going to cut off his own dick. Okay, you got to have balls to say that. Well, you would only have balls if that were to happen because you'd cut off your dick. But to have those balls, you got to go for it on 4th and 1. Okay? 4th and 1 on your 47. You know what you do? You get the offense, you come around, you say, hey, we're going to kick their ass on this one play. Give me a yard for the rest of your lives right now. And you go get that yard, and maybe things would have changed, but he was a coward, Dan. Sending out the punt unit on 4th and 1 was despicable, diabolical.
Something that's not being talked about enough is that your reigning Super Bowl champion was also the most coward-filled coach there was in the league on 4th down. Didn't care for it, didn't need to do it, trusted his defense, wasn't also somebody who did much of anything on 4th down, played scared the entire time and won the championship.
Yeah, but when you have that defense, I think, he has a stands to reason he trusts them a little bit more. Number 3, Will Campbell, Wolf. We'll move that one on very quickly. There's nothing to say there. Wolf.
Yeah, that's it.
Bad. Number two, Seattle was really the best team to wire this season. We just didn't see it quick enough.
That's the truth.
All season, they were just beating teams, and they were like, oh, wow, like Seattle's kind of good, huh? Oh, Seattle's kind of decent. And then all of a sudden, they're winning the Super Bowl, not letting up. What was it, 10 straight wins? They didn't have a turnover in how many weeks in a row? Like, their defense played amazing. They were really wire-to-wire champs this season.
Number one,
Bad Bunny only got bigger after this amazing Super Bowl performance. Again, it's been politicized left, right, center. Everybody and their mother has something to say about Hispanics, has something to say about Bad Bunny. The only thing that I saw is that the biggest artist on the planet got bigger, getting put over by the biggest league in the world in the NFL. So it's a very cool moment for Hispanics, a very cool moment for Bad Bunny fans that have been like me, watching him when he was just on SoundCloud in 2019, before the pandemic, before the albums, before all these things, when I was like, wow, man, wait a second, this guy has a sound that's so different in the genre. To now see the entire evolution of what he's been able to do and then coronated on the biggest stage in American sports is super cool from a Hispanic point of view and from a Bad Bunny point of view. So, as a fan, I'm very excited for what the future is because there's only up to go from here. Like, he's already the biggest artist on the planet. Like, how much bigger can he get?
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. And you chose a good spot. An ugly performance, but you salvaged today by going to the spot where Michael Chiklis is commemorated forever by the Miami Heat organization. We appreciate it.
Guys, let me tell you something. One of the greatest joys of my life was when they finally opened a White Castle in my neighborhood in Phoenix, Arizona. I lost my mind because I'm so used to eating White Castle at home when I was in New York. Now I can have it all the time in Phoenix. But when I come to Miami, there's no White Castle. So you know what I do? Go to the freezer aisle because right there, they got the variety pack with all the great White Castle flavor in there. You're getting a lot of slider styles. You're getting classic American cheese. You're getting jalapeno cheese. And if you're a bacon lover, you're getting that new cheddar bacon cheese sliders. The classic cheese gives you all the taste of a great American burger, while jalapeno cheese sliders give a serving of spicy to each bite. And the new cheddar bacon cheese? That literally brings home the bacon, folks! With real pieces of bacon in cheddar-flavored cheese. Guys, I know what you're thinking. Your mouth is watering. My mouth is watering just reading this. That's completely normal. You can find each of these sliders where? In the grocery store, in the freezer aisle. Bonus, they're all in the same box. You don't even have to, I gotta get 4 boxes. No, it's one variety box. It's got them all in it. Perfect for game day, late nights, or anytime you just want something awesomely oniony, satisfying, steamy, and unapologetically cheesy. White Castle. Crave thy castle.
Hello, listeners. Valentine's Day is almost here, one of my very favorite holidays, which should be unsurprising to you. And fellas, if you're listening, do not overthink this. My secret weapon every year is 1-800-Flowers.com. Because my wife, who all of you are always saying is too good looking to be with me, deserves something that shows I actually put thought into it. And that's why I trust 1-800-Flowers. They've been doing this for 50 years. They source roses from high-altitude farms for bigger blooms, richer colors, and flowers that last. I can say firsthand, I've ordered 1-800-Flowers for my wife during the holidays, and it really means a lot to her. The bouquet looks amazing, it's super fresh, and when I've ordered it, it's lasted. This year they've got the double blooms deal. Buy 1 dozen roses, and they double it to 2 dozen for free. Twice the impact, same budget. Make this Valentine's one she'll remember. To get your double blooms offer, buy 1 dozen, get 2 dozen roses free. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan to double your roses for free.
Howdy, folks. Mike Ryan here. Quick break to talk to you about one of our show's longest, most tenured, and greatest partners, Miller Lite. I love this product because so many moments were made legendary by having Miller Lite there. And it's not just the good times. Sometimes you and your pals are sad because a game didn't go your way, and you take a sip of Miller Lite, and you still recognize, darn, this tastes good. And I made the right call. And that sound of cracking open that beautiful white can, it does make me feel better. Thank you, Miller Lite. So many legendary moments start with a Miller Lite. Miller Lite just fits pretty much any occasion. Clean finish, refreshing, brewed for taste with simple ingredients like malted barley, and at 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces, it never weighs you down. It's the taste that beer lovers have trusted for over 50 years. The original light beer since 1975 and still iconic today. Legendary moments start with Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Don Le Batard.
I want to address Tony and all men who would wear that shirt in public.
Stugotz.
Don't do it.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I wanted to talk to you guys before I get to the NBA fights, because I do want to talk about the NBA fights. But when he mentions the idea that halftime show was politicized, okay, that word. You've heard me say before that generally speaking, Hispanics, no matter which group you choose from, wildly grateful to be in this country, know very often what freedom or lack of freedom looks like, and so you rarely have issues with Hispanics appearing to you to be ungrateful for the opportunities this country provides. That's not something I hear a lot of. When Tony uses the word politicized for a guy who is doing that show in his native language, but is saying during it, God bless America, and is also celebrating the United States as part of the gratitude in that performance, okay? You guys speak English as a political stance. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about everyone listening to this. Speak English is a political statement because it's not been a platform that I've seen that undisguised before. You might go immigration to be anti-Hispanic, but it's not speak English, mother bleeper. Like, it's not quite that brazen.
When the president of the United States says that the country's language is English, then that makes it political.
Again, more subtle than speak English. Like, even more subtle than what's happening right now, which is you just saw someone sing. And the objection, politicized, is speak my language. That's not a political position. Since when? Since when is it a political position? Hey, Hispanics, you're not welcome to speak your language and celebrate your language in this country, even though you come to this country gratefully. You often come to this country not having learned English, because any of us would have trouble right now if we were in China or Russia trying to get around. But Hispanics are generally, I don't believe that the people who are objecting to the lack of English here have any problem with the gratitude or humility of Latin people as a group for being in this country.
Is it speak English or is it speak English around me?
It's sing English. He speaks English. He knows English. He's learned English. So it's just make me more comfortable because my psyche is so fragile that I can't endure for 12 minutes you trying to do something entertaining in your own language.
But do I sound like an idiot when I say how this is this politics or is this just politics of the day? Like, is this what politics has turned into? Because at no point in my life, okay, as somebody who speaks English first but had a household where my grandparents didn't speak English, there are giant swaths of Miami where you can live more comfortably in Spanish than you can in English all around Dade County because there are so many people here who don't know English, and it's not because they're not trying to learn. There are other problems when you come to this country and have to make a living when you used to be a doctor in your country, but you got to be a plumber here, and learning the language is not, taking a course when it's hard, very hard to learn a language after the age of 6. Like, it's a very difficult thing. Most of the people listening to this do not speak a second language because of how hard that is, no matter whether you took it in high school or college or not. Am I being an idiot when I say, I get that it's the politics of the day, but it's been distorted so that this is also politics, so you could just wrap your hate or ignorance or your lack of tolerance in something else.
My own theory is that the language, the fact that he was singing in Spanish, only became as controversial as it did because Trump and Trump supporters led that feeling. And why did they do that? Because Bad Bunny is openly anti-Trump and anti-ICE. If Bad Bunny were a very conservative person who was pro-Trump and who had no problem with the immigration tactics going on, I don't think the fact that he was singing in Spanish would have nearly
that would have been interesting.
Yeah,
controversy.
I agree.
For sure would have supported
I agree.
it.
Look at all the people that talk themselves into liking Kid Rock. I agree. If it were like Nicky Jam, I think it would have been received differently. But it still would have made some waves because it's a first song.
So K-pop,
not as many.
if it had been K-pop.
Even K-pop, like there's plenty of English lyrics, especially with the ones that have crossed over here. Like there's big time.
But
English
if it hadn't
lyrics.
been, I'm trying to think of what the parallel is for this because.
To answer your question, this is what politics has become over the last 10 years. If it were about policy isn't exactly positively affecting American people right now. They're getting a whole bunch of stuff they didn't vote for, and they're talking themselves into it. What's more important is who finishes 5th in a swim meet. That's something that you can rally people around because you can divide and conquer, and then you make it about your culture, not about policy.
Am I too numb to this because I've been in Miami all of my life so that I underestimate what the reaction was, which is just to cloak yourself, cloak your hatred in something that people can get behind, which is, yes, I'm oppressed, I'm the threatened one because you're singing in Spanish. I'm losing my country. It's what I was saying to you before about any conversation about inclusion excludes me as soon as you start talking about inclusion.
It was really a fascinating social study to watch MAGA Cubans interact with this Super Bowl halftime because none of them were going to Turning Point USA's halftime show. They love their Bad Bunny too. And they're willing to overlook that because it's a part of their culture too. They like it. And it was.
But do they get
wet fart.
But do they also get offended at what,
No, I mean, they'd like to. And then, I was privy to some group chats that were like, well, he didn't wear a dress. That was fine. Like, it's just some of the dumbest commentary that's possible because that's what works. Do you not see the position that we're in?
People are so dumb. I saw some of these, the images with him burning an American flag wearing a dress, and I don't think that picture's even real. I think that's a fake picture.
You're right, Zaz. It wasn't.
Yeah, but people think it is, and they're like, "See, this is what's performing our halftime show."
We had the first generation ever that actually walk back the IQ standards, millennials to Gen Z. We're dumb. We're dumb.
We're so dumb.
Look who's been president twice. Look at the platform. It's not about policy. It's not about nuance. It's about they're trying to make boys girls. Are you okay with that? No, I'm not.
So
That's actually what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's been 100% that.
Yeah, it becomes tell me that a man can get pregnant.
No one's been inconvenienced by someone speaking Spanish in their everyday lives. And I live in Miami, where you kind of need to know Spanish to get around. I haven't once been inconvenienced recently because I don't know Spanish. Like, I can speak my language in the hardest part to just be solely speaking English in this country, in Miami, Florida. Like, all these people, like Megyn Kelly doesn't have people speaking Spanish to her. Megyn Kelly doesn't have any reason to be offended. Megyn Kelly probably hasn't had to speak Spanish in a decade and it hasn't affected her once.
I wonder what the narrative would be today if Bad Bunny had sort of placated the controversy and sold a little bit of his soul by speaking in English between the songs, by maybe performing one song in English and the rest in Spanish. I'm glad he didn't, but it would have been very easy to kind of quell the controversy.
I don't think so.
This one's for Megyn Kelly.
Yeah,
I
don't think it would have. I think it would have been something. If you're going into this already angry about, already aggrieved about all the things happening in America, you're going to find the place to put your outrage. But before I move off of this topic, I just want the people listening. I believe that we are as Hispanic a thing as there has been in the sports environment when it comes to the sports media over the last 20 years. And I don't know the actual backstory when it comes to Billy and Mike. Ryan Ruiz became Mike Ryan. Guillermo Gil became Billy Gil. My father was going to name me Gonzalo or Luis, my grandfather's name or his name, but decided to name his kids Dan and David because during a different time, that's what we're doing to sort of acclimate here and make sure that there are no issues on wherever it is our culture gets diluted, because we're grateful to be here. And we understand as we become Americanized, some of our culture is lost. My brother's dead. We didn't have kids. Whatever was left of Los Hermanos Batard, the orchestra from Cuba, becomes Dan and David as part of fitting in here and being grateful about fitting in here. I don't know how Guillermo became Billy. Mike, I don't know the backstory on how Mike Ryan Ruiz for a while was just Mike Ryan.
I've said it several times. I was a child actor. I got typecast. I didn't speak Spanish fluently, and all I got offered were Spanish language roles because of my last name.
So in my lifetime and around here, the parents are the ones who are having to do things. But in my lifetime here, I've never felt the hostility of speak English. Whatever that is, whatever's behind that on, hey, brown people, something about you is wrong. Even though you're grateful to be here, even though you're humbled by all of America's gifts and know that its freedoms represent things for you that aren't back home, I have not in my life felt what this halftime show became. Not in my life. It's not something when I was a little kid in our neighborhood, it was stupid Cuban. But since then, in my adult life, the hostility of this is not something that I feel day to day.
Not even in the 80s, because Miami-Dade County passed a law that all government business between 1980 and 1993 had to be done in English only. So you didn't feel that?
I lived in Broward. Broward was becoming homogenized first. Okay, my Cuban friends were in Miami. I was living in Broward County, which is where the people who have fled Dade County to Fort Lauderdale make Fort Lauderdale not quite as diverse as Dade County is.
Yeah, I'm sure your dad named you Dan to help you assimilate, but he was unintentionally foresightful in doing that, because if you were named Gonzalo today, you would be more apt to be stopped and interrogated because of your name, because of your background, right?
I don't know what my father might be subjected to in the present age of America. Seems to be okay with state militia running around disguising the Proud Boys. Like, I don't know. I don't think I'm immune to that. I don't think, when I see what happens to Don Lemon and whatever passes for politics these days, I don't think it's safe to speak freely, whether I was born in this country or not. Like, I think there are dangers now. Look, this is the first year of this shit. I mean, it's the 5th year, but it's the first year of what was promised in all of the secrecy of Project 2025 or whatever the hell the name of that project is. Promised, be aggressive with all this stuff. Never back down, never apologize, and just trample people with, yes, Kid Rock and his allegiances need to be fed because divisions need to be fed.
The other thing is Spanish speakers are in a safe haven here in South Florida, but if you're having a conversation in Spanish in a diner in Montana, you're still going to get looks because you're speaking what really is a foreign language there.
But this is why I'm saying, though, I must be numb to it living in South Florida. It's just been such a common part of my upbringing that there are different people here speaking different languages, and they're all sort of from the same struggle of poverty. Like, thank you for being here. We're grateful to be here. Like, most of them are, some of them come from money, but not... The struggle's real for people who are fighting in this country just to stay in this country the way that our parents did.
And Miami is a melting pot. You don't even hear Spanish all the time, right? Like you hear French, you hear Portuguese, you hear German, you hear Creole, you hear all these different languages because there's so many people coming in from all different parts of the world. And you could be walking by somebody at the mall and they're speaking a language you've never heard of. But like it's so commonplace that you don't even stop and be like, oh, what is that? It's like, all right, I'm moving on because it's like normal.
But imagine though, okay, so I live in a tourist center, okay? So I'm surrounded by all sorts of languages that I don't understand. Imagine me running out in the street, hey, speak my language, or speak one of my 2 languages.
Right.
Like, what is it? Play your music. I don't want to hear your cultural heritage celebrated for 13 minutes as a break while Klosterman's walking his dog, because halftime's a break. I can't abide.
I didn't like that from Klosterman, by the way. He should have sat there and watched that.
He would have listened if it was Bruce.
Zaz.
Didn't you find it weird, by the way, that he didn't take a moment at all to go back and watch it, on the internet?
Yes.
He still hasn't
He's in a log
seen it?
cabin, he said.
Plus, there was like 20 minutes between the end of the half and the start of that concert.
We had to get McCourty's thoughts on Will Campbell getting his ass whipped for 3 seconds.
Weird.
I think it's the only thing McCourty said. Like,
getting his ass whipped.
Will Campbell's getting his ass kicked.
People keep asking me about my 2026 resolutions, and I got the usual stuff. Watch more games, complain about the power play, and pretend like my team's actually going to stay healthy. Ha ha! But this year, the one at the top of my list is simple. Get comfy. That's where Bombas comes in. They bring serious comfort to my everyday essentials. Bombas just dropped their all-new sports socks, engineered for running, golf, hiking, skiing, snowboarding, basically whatever you're pretending you're about to be really into. And I'm trying to stay active this year by playing hockey. I need these socks. It has cushioning where you need it. It's sweat wicking, solid support, no distractions, just comfort. And for the everyday stuff, Bombas footwear has you covered. Sunday slippers for staying in, Friday sandals for quick errands, and the new Saturday suede slip-ons for when you want comfort but still need to leave the house. Premium everyday go-tos I don't really think about, which is kind of the point. And for every item you buy, Bombas donates one to someone facing housing insecurity. One bought, one donated. Over 150 million items so far. Head over to bombas.com/DKN and use code DKN for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/DKN, code DKN at checkout.
Dan Le Batard.
Billy, somebody has written in here, I need way more.
I'm sorry.
I just said in his headset, haven't you been to all of them too?
It sounded like you were speaking aloud. My bad. Totally on me. That's 100% on me. All right. Yeah.
Stugotz.
But that goes without saying.
Right.
That it couldn't have happened.
Well, now he said
He didn't say it. He said it again.
Yeah, that was just in my head again.
My apology is sincere.
Why? Greg.
Yeah.
Greg.
He apologized. I mean,
Greg.
Sincerely.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
The fights last night and over the last couple of days in the NBA. I know that Shaq said very recently that he couldn't name 3 Pistons. That is the most physical team in the league. I'm a little bit stunned to see somebody trying to reinvent the 3-point NBA with, no, we've got Isaiah Stewart and we're going to kick your ass and we're going to be super physical. Like, Knicks beware, Karl Anthony Towns is going to get super physical when Detroit starts playing basketball, trying to take things from you. And they fight with Charlotte, and Charlotte's better now. Charlotte is
good little team in Charlotte.
Is feisty.
Sneaky decent.
A sneaky decent team, and Detroit won last night in Charlotte. And Isaiah Stewart comes off the bench. That's going to be a big. You're not allowed to do that anymore. Like that right there is going to get a giant suspension for Isaiah Stewart.
Yep.
Seize on what Greg is saying and reacting to, and then ask him, why is it different than hockey?
I've done enough race this hour.
That's
I don't think that I should be doing any
It's
more
not
of that.
political, it's race.
My favorite's Duncan Robinson during this fight.
Where is he?
Just on the outskirts.
Indifferent, wildly indifferent.
At one point, he, like in the middle of the fracas, he just turns around and rolls his eyes. He has no interest.
But look at him in the middle of
Watch
that.
right here. You see him pop into the screen, and he's just like, guys. You could tell with his face. He's like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Look at him right there in the back. He's like, oh, no.
He'd been to practice with Jimmy Butler before. He knows. That's literally a Tuesday.
Beef Stew is going to get 10 games.
Isaiah Stewart is somebody that they're not making a lot of those anymore in the NBA. Guy who will come off the bench, and everyone knows everyone involved there on his team and the others know, oh, this is like Steven Jackson. This is the guy everyone knows. Once his hands come out, nobody wants any part of those. We're not doing very many of those anymore, right? We're not doing, like, the villains in that sport are Dylan Brooks or Draymond Green. It's mouth stuff. It's not somebody who'll come out here and kick your ass and nobody actually wants to mess with him.
I mean, he's standing on the bench. He wasn't in the game. He's standing.
He's got
on
his warm up on in the video.
Yeah.
He's got his warm up on.
He's standing on the bench, and then the altercation begins, and he's just like, "Oh, it's time to fight," and he runs out there.
He's like, Duncan, you got this? Nope. All right, I'll come out.
Like, it wasn't like he went out there and like a few seconds later someone tried him. No, it's like, oh, it's time to fight, and he runs out onto the floor and fights.
You guys do realize, though, that Isaiah Stewart is of a generation now. We're generation enough removed from how it is. This has been scrubbed from that sport that guys do not come off the bench anymore because the consequences are so severe. Isaiah Stewart did not give that a thought. There was not a thought of a consequence. Nobody else is doing what Isaiah Stewart is doing there, which is like, oh, there's a fight. Let me go get in this right now. Everyone knows Amari Stoudemire helped cost Amin Al-Hassan's Phoenix Suns, but a generation doesn't know that. Isaiah Stewart's generation doesn't actually know that. Is that right? Do I have that correct? That Malice in the Palace is so long ago now, and the NBA has so successfully scrubbed out the fighting because you couldn't have Knicks, Heat, Alonzo Mourning, and Larry Johnson. We can't have Jeff Van Gundy on the calf of Alonzo Mourning anymore. This has been scrubbed out. Isaiah Stewart doesn't actually, he knows the rules, but he might not be of a generation that understands that you cannot do that anymore because it seems like everyone else understands this.
24 years old. What year was Malice in the Palace?
04.
Oh, he was right. 4 years old.
That's funny, though, right? Because everyone else knows not to react that way. You don't see, even in the middle of that fight, you don't see anybody else coming off the bench because the penalties are so stiff.
Right, everyone else is standing there still. He, a beeline, time to fight.
I've seen this happen like 4 times in the last couple of days in the NBA where there's like, oh, this looks like it could be like a scrum.
There were 2 fights last night.
Yeah, and there was one on Sunday, in Super Bowl Sunday, Clippers Timberwolves. Like, guys had to be separated, and you thought, like, is somebody about to throw a punch here? Like, I kind of like that.
I don't think, though, that in any of those games you had an Isaiah Stewart situation where somebody was throwing caution and consequence to the wind. You cannot come off of the bench.
Yeah, the league will really make an example of that guy. I'm interested to not only the suspension, but I bet he will be fined 6 figures easy. Well into 6 figures.
I think he's going to get 10 games. And 10 games for a guy like Isaiah. Remember, that's 10 missed game checks.
That's millions of dollars.
He's going to lose a lot of money. I think he's getting 10 games.
Why does it feel different?
I'm looking here, and I don't know if it's an unsubstantiated report, but I'm looking at 25 games without pay right now.
Whoa.
Where are you seeing that?
That's Greg.
Full court.
Is it Sharms Charania?
No, it's full court. Full
third
court.
of a season.
It feel different.
Why does it feel different than hockey, Greg?
Black and white, Dan.
Yeah!
Beef Stew's a great nickname. He likes his beef.
And his stew.
Gabe Vincent's a Hawk?
Yeah, he got traded.
Good to know.
Deadline move.
Yeah, the Lakers waived him. LeBron says they're not a champion.
Can this be a real quote? I think this is a real quote. Can this be a real quote from Isaiah Stewart when he was asked why he came off the bench? He said, "You're not expecting me to stay on the bench. The F I was drafted to Detroit for."
That's a video. No, there's a video of him walking underneath the tunnel,
real?
walking out and saying that.
The
yes.
F I was
How do you feel?
drafted
How do you
to
feel
Detroit
about how you read that?
Not that good.
You had it nice. Like all it needed to do was be read correctly.
Yeah, the ball was on the tee.
It was right there for you. Do you want to give it another crack?
I do.
Okay.
Can we pretend like, the last minute didn't happen? You're not expecting me to stay on the bench. The F I was drafted to Detroit for.
There's a lot of D's there. You're trying to like.
It's a little bit of a tongue twister. All right, can we acknowledge?
All right. Do you want to try it again? Because it doesn't seem like you. I know there's now pressure on this, but
I don't feel pressure.
Okay, you don't feel
I
pressure.
welcome it.
All right. Well,
I thrive in it.
Well,
Really?
I have
Do you?
very little proof of that.
You're not expecting me to stay on the bench. The F I was drafted to Detroit for.
It's a did Detroit for. That's what it was.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for tripping the entire show.
And at least I don't claim to hang out with people who rip the crust off their pizza slice. Weird. There's no way that is real.
He even screwed that up.
Yeah, he screwed that up. He's going to feel that one.
All sins erased on the show. Thanks, Zaz.
No, that's true. Oh, man.
It caught him off mic.
Must be the chair, man.
He actually shouted it over his left shoulder. He's like, "I got the killer." I wait till the off mic dismount is going to get him, and he couldn't say that clearly either. He is headed to Vegas with his wife. Look, Tony, look how much
baloney.
Zaz, I don't think you understand how difficult it is to have the show Tony's had today, and to enjoy how poorly you just did.
Real or fake?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Tony wanted it done hours ago.
Listen up. Time to think fast. Is this a real or fake podcast?
There's a reason I'm so prepared for this segment.
You're welcome.
I'm not sure. It was obvious to us that you were trying to speak privately and quickly to Chris and hit the wrong microphone and instead told the audience real or fake, and it had no context. Do you think I don't think the majority of the audience noticed what the nature of your mistake was, which is that you were speaking into the wrong microphone after forgetting to start the show speaking in Spanish.
Yeah, Again, Zaz messed up on the way out. Like, who cares about what I did?
Lots of podcasts these days, lots of podcasts hosted by celebrities and athletes, so many that you don't know what's real and what's fake anymore. So I'm going to read you some podcasts. You tell me if it's a real podcast or a fake one.
It's been a great game, and I'm not good at it. And the worse I am at it, the better that it is. Greg Cody, you fancy yourself good. Greg Cody, actually, I should say right before we get to this, actually ended that segment with his wife saying off air, "I don't think of myself as a stubborn person."
I honestly don't.
Well, this one looks funnier than it sounds. It's called Friar Territory, and it's hosted by former Padres Mike Cameron and Heath Bell. Friar Territory.
I thought you were going to say hosted by former Dolphin receiver Irving Friar.
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah, but the Padres are called the Friars, and fair territory is a thing in baseball, so it looks really funny. It doesn't sound as funny. Friar Territory. Mike Cameron, Heath Bell, real or fake?
That's fake. That's got to be fake. Heath Bell didn't like the media. He was colorful, though.
Zaz, would you like to venture a guess? Fake. Would you like to turn on the mic?
Your microphone on.
See ya, buddy.
Oh, boy.
Long
Minor
flight to
penalty,
Vegas.
2 minutes for tripping the entire show.
Gentlemen, that is a real podcast. Friar Territory with Mike Cameron and Heath Bell.
Wow.
Soup to Nuts with Dave Campbell. Soup to Nuts.
Campbell soup.
With Dave Campbell.
All right. Do me a favor, video. Find a photo of Dave Campbell for the people who do not know who Dave Soup Campbell is. But the lasting image, whenever anyone mentions his name that I think of, is him, Radisson Pool in Bristol, Connecticut, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday, a cigarette in one hand and one of those tanning silver things under his chin, leathery. I don't think that's real. I don't think he's still doing this stuff.
He's 84 years old. Soup to Nuts.
I think
real
it's real.
podcast.
No.
You think it's real?
Yeah.
It is a fake podcast. I made it up.
Damn, it should be real.
Next one, Off the Edge with Cam Jordan.
That is not Dave Campbell, I don't think, folks. That's a different. I'm going to say that's a different Dave Campbell.
But I don't doubt that it comes up when you Google Dave Campbell baseball. I don't doubt. I assume that's what happened there, but that is not Dave Soup Campbell.
No, but he's holding up a football book, so he's not it's not Dave Soup Campbell.
Off the Edge with Cam Jordan, real or fake?
I'm going to say that is real. I'm going to say that he likes his media, and I'm going to say that's real.
I say fake.
That is a real podcast. Next one, Ear Candy with Michael Olowokandi.
Oh, no way. Wow. They can't let that guy near Mike.
I'm not sure that Michael Olowokandi spoke great English. Is that...
Wow. Slippery slope.
Jeez.
My day's looking better.
I don't remember.
Whoa.
Okay.
Is it a real or fake podcast?
Minor penalty, 2 minutes. Accidental racism.
I say real.
That is a fake podcast.
Wow,
Michael Olowokandi does not host a podcast that's called Ear Candy. And finally, say what needs to be said with Asante Samuel.
That's real.
I'm going to say fake again.
That's real.
That's
it's real.
Boy, did I blow
Stink
that.
at this game.
I was 1 for 5.